What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ravi Wadden, and in today's video, I want to talk about the $2,000 Costco rebate on the Polestar 3. So the Polestar 3 you can lease for roughly $699 a month, and I want to talk about how the $2,000 Costco rebate impacts that monthly payment and how it impacts the total down payment, and whether or not this Polestar 3 is a good lease deal or not. So if you're in the market for a Polestar 3, or if you've been cross-shopping a Polestar 3, especially if you're considering leasing one, which I do suggest, and I'll talk about that as well in this video, I think you'll get a lot of value from this video. So what we'll do in the first part of this video is we'll go to the Polestar website and we'll look at this lease deal in detail. We'll talk about the monthly payment, we'll talk about the down payment, we'll talk about the annual mileage allowance, and we'll talk about the Costco rebate and the $7,500 EV tax credit. Then in the second part of this video, what we'll do is run my 1.25% rule of leasing, and we'll talk about whether or not this Polestar 3 is a good lease deal in terms of value, and maybe we'll actually compare it to its competitors. Maybe we'll compare it to like a Tesla Model Y and some other models out there. And then in the third part of this video, what we'll do is we'll compare the monthly lease payments on this Polestar 3 to the monthly finance payments if you were to finance this particular car, and you'll kind of see why leasing this car is a no-brainer. So if that sounds good to you, please be sure to like this video and please be sure to give me a follow. But with that, let's go ahead and jump into the computer behind me. All right, so the first thing we're going to do in this video is we'll head over to the Costco website. You can go to CostcoAuto.com, and this is the Costco Auto program. So a lot of people don't know this, but you can get rebates by simply having a Costco membership. And if you actually scroll down and you see specials and incentives, we'll just click on View Specials. And you're going to see all of the member-only incentives that you have on certain vehicles. As you can see, Cadillac has a $1,000 member-only incentive. It looks like it's on the Cadillac Lyriq. You've got something that Chevy's offering, you've got something that GMC's offering, and you've got something that Volvo's offering here in the top left. But what we're looking to do is look at the Polestar Limited Time Special. So we'll click on the Polestar Limited Time Special. And as you can see, this is running from November 1st all the way to January 2nd, 2025. So it's going into next year. And it's a $2,000 member-only incentive. So $2,000 rebate is, that's a substantial rebate in the automotive industry. And it says it's on the purchase or lease of a new Polestar 3. And I think it makes a lot more sense financially to use it on the Polestar lease. And I will get back, I'll get to that, a little later in this video and explain why leasing makes more sense. But anyways, here we go on to the Polestar website. And what you're going to see is you can lease a Polestar 3. It's available for delivery now. You can lease from $699 a month for 36 months. So let's go ahead and click on Learn More. And if we scroll down, I don't really want to learn more about the car. Let's just go to the Polestar 3. And let's click on Offers, actually. This is the page that I'm looking for. So for those of you that missed that, I went to Polestar 3 and then I went down and clicked on Offers. And that will take me to this page. And what you're going to see is the same thing. You can lease this car for $699 a month. And as you can see here, it includes the $7,500 Polestar Clean Vehicle Incentive. And that's just Polestar's fancy way of saying that this vehicle qualifies for the $7,500 EV tax credit. Now, to my knowledge, you can only get the $7,500 EV tax credit if you lease this car, not if you buy it or if you finance it. And that's why I think leasing it makes a lot of sense. Now, if we scroll down, you're going to see more language about the Costco members. It says Costco members receive $2,000 off the purchase or lease of a new Polestar 3. But anyways, let's go back up, and what we're going to do is we're going to click here where it says Polestar 3 long-range dual motor, $699 a month, 36 months with the $7,500 clean vehicle incentive. And all we're going to do is click on View Offer to read the fine print. Now, what you're going to see is the monthly payment, again, $699 per month for 36 months with $5,699 due at signing. Now, what you're going to see is, one of the things the first thing I want to point out is that this $5,699 that's due at signing, it does not include all of your taxes. It doesn't include the taxes that you're going to have to pay on rebates. And it does not include vehicle registration. So depending on where you live, this number could be, $1,500 to $2,500 higher. So I would factor in, let's just say, your total due at signing is going to look more like $7,000, not $5,700. Here in the state of Washington, probably $7,500, just to be on the safe side. And here is some language to support that. You're going to see cash due at signing includes the $5,000 down payment. It includes your $699 first month's payment. There is no security deposit required. Tax, title, license, registration, and dealer fees are additional fees that are due at signing. So that's where I account for that additional roughly $2,000. And then it also says that lessee is responsible for excess wear and mileage over 10,000 miles a year at 25 cents a mile. So, with most manufacturers, including Polestar, if you know you're going to drive more than 10,000 miles a year, it makes sense to get a 12 or a 15,000 mile a year lease up front rather than paying the excess mileage penalty at the end of the lease, which in this case is 25 cents a mile. Now here, you're also going to see that this lease deal is available to qualified customers that meet the PFS credit standards at authorized Polestar spaces. Not everyone will qualify, and the offer is valid from November 1st until December 2nd, 2024. And delivery you must take delivery by December 2nd, 2024. And you'll see that automobile financing and account servicing is provided by Volvo Car Financial Services, which is doing business as Polestar Financial Services. And the last thing that I want to mention in this section of the video is that the MSRP on this car is $74,800, and that will come into play when we run my 1.25% rule of leasing on this car. Now, if we run my 1.25% rule of leasing on this car, now for those of you that are new to my channel, my 1.25% rule of leasing is just a value metric. If you get a number at the end of this equation, if you get a number that's less than 1.5%, that's a good lease deal in terms of value. That's a car that I would lease. That's a car that I would tell my family members to lease. That's not a terrible lease deal. If you get a number under 1.25%, that's a great lease deal. And if you get a number under 1%, that's an amazing lease deal. And let's go ahead and run this on this Polestar 3 and see where it falls in at. Now, what we're going to do is take the $5,699 that's due at signing, and then what we'll do is we'll subtract $2,000 from this amount to account for the $2,000 Costco rebate. And that leaves us with a due at signing amount of $3,699. Now what we're going to do is we'll subtract the monthly payment of $699 from this amount, since it's included in the due at signing amount, and that leaves us with $3,000. We'll divide this by 36 since it's a 36-month lease, and we'll go ahead and add the monthly payment of $699 back in, and multiply this by 1.1 to account for 10% sales tax on the payment. At least it's a 10% sales tax rate here in the city of Seattle. And that gives me a zero down monthly lease payment of $860 a month. And if I divide this by $74,800, which is the MSRP on this Polestar 3, I get 0.0115. I'll multiply this by 100 to make it a percentage, and that gives me 1.15%. So ladies and gentlemen, this is a sub 1.25% lease deal. So this is a great lease deal, right? Anything over 1.5, you typically want to stay away from. Under 1.5, good lease deal. Under 1.25%, great lease deal. And this Polestar 3 is sitting at 1.15%, which is a great lease deal. Now, it's not a sub 1% lease deal like some of these Hyundai Ioniq 5s out there. I know people are getting sub 1% on other EVs like the Hummer EV, maybe some of the Kia EV6s, the Cadillac Lyriq, but sitting at 1.15, this is quite respectable. Now, if we wanted to run this rule again and account for the registration fees and taxes on rebates, let's go ahead and do that and see where this car actually falls in. So we'll take the same $5,699 that's due at signing. We'll subtract the $2,000 to account for the Costco rebate. And that gives us $3,699. And then what we'll do is we'll add $2,000 back in to account for registration and taxes. And then we'll subtract $699, which is the monthly payment. We'll divide this by 36, and then we'll add the monthly payment of $699, multiply this by 1.1, and that gives us roughly an effective monthly payment of $921 a month. And if we divide this by this vehicle's MSRP, which is $74,800, and multiply this by 100, it's still a sub 1.25% lease deal. You're sitting at 1.23%. Now, this is very, very respectable. Now, if you saw my Polestar 2 video with the Costco rebates, which was, I think I released that like 3 or 4 months ago, that Polestar 2 lease deal was incredible. I think that came in at under 0.7%. So not only was it a sub 1% lease deal, it was at like 0.65 or 0.7%, which is, truly incredible. So it's not quite as good as the Polestar 2 lease deal with the Costco rebate, but 1.23% is still a great lease deal. And the fact that you don't have to negotiate this lease deal, you can go to virtually any Polestar store and get this lease deal, I think that adds a lot of value for a lot of people who value their time and don't want to negotiate lease deals and car deals. Now let's actually go to the Tesla website. So maybe some of you are cross-shopping this with a Tesla Model Y. So what we'll do is look at the cash value of a Tesla Model Y. The MSRP is $47,990, and this is the base Model Y. The standard paint, standard wheels, right? Standard interior, no self-driving. You're looking at an MSRP of $47,990. Now, if we were to lease this car and run my 1.25% rule of leasing on this car, let's go ahead and include taxes and fees. Okay, let's go ahead and bust out the calculator. So it's 1.23 for the Polestar, and let's go ahead and do this for the Tesla. So you're looking at $6,312 due at signing, which is down here, as you can see. We'll do that. Let's do $6,312 due at signing. We'll subtract the monthly payment of $450 from that amount, and that leaves us at $5,862. We'll divide this by 36, since this is a 36-month lease. We'll add the monthly payment of $450 back in, and that leaves us with an effective monthly payment of $612. Now, I didn't multiply this by 1.1 because this $450 is already accounting for sales tax. Now, if I divide this by $47,990, which is the MSRP on the Tesla, and multiply by 100, you'll see that the Polestar is actually a better lease deal in terms of value. The Tesla Model Y comes in at 1.27, and the Polestar 3 came in at 1.23. Now, it is going to be a more expensive car, but in terms of value, it's a better value proposition if you base it on MSRP. Now, the MSRP, you can take it with a grain of salt, but I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what kind of a lease deal is compared to the Model Y, which is the #1 selling car on planet Earth. Now, in this part of the video, what I want to do is compare the monthly finance payments to the monthly lease payments. So let's assume that you are financing this Polestar 3. Now, let's say the loan term is 72 months. Let's actually go back to the Polestar website because they do have an offer. It's 6.99% for 72 months, all right? So 6.99% for 72 months. So we got 6.99%, 72 months. We're not going to put any money down, no trade-ins. Let's just select the state of Washington as an example. We have a sales tax rate of 10%, and then title registration and other fees is $2,000. So we'll keep that the same as what we did for the lease payments in an earlier part of this video. And let's calculate the monthly payment on this. Your monthly payment, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be $1,436 a month. And that's compared to an effective monthly payment if you lease this car of $921 a month. And this $921 is including your registration, fees, taxes, and assuming $0 down. So all in, you're paying about $921 a month. If you multiply this $921 by 36, that's going to be the total cost of the lease over 36 months, compared to a monthly payment of $1,436 a month. And if you factored in the Costco rebate, so let's lower the selling price to $72,800, you're still looking at a monthly payment of $1,398 a month compared to $921 a month. So even if you made the Polestar a 15,000 mile, a 15,000 mile a year lease, so if you up the allowed mileage from 10,000 miles a year to 15,000 miles a year, I mean, your monthly payment I would say conservatively would maybe go to $1,000 a month, but you're still saving $400 a month. And that's why I think leasing this Polestar 3, at least in my opinion, leasing this Polestar 3 is a much better financial decision. And even if you wanted to buy it at the end of the lease term, like if it made financial sense to do so, I'm pretty sure the Polestar 3 has a buyout option at the end of the lease. But just based on my experience and working with EVs, I don't think it would make financial sense to do so. So just look at it as a 3-year lease and or a 3-year ownership period. And leasing, as you can see, is the much better option, because $1,400 a month is just that's a lot higher than $1,000 a month or $920 or so dollars if you did 10,000 miles a year. So if you're in the market for Polestar 3 and you saw that Costco rebate of $2,000 and you're wondering how it impacts the Polestar 3 and whether the Polestar 3 is, worth it to lease, I hope you, got a lot of value from this video. And as you can see, it does end up being a better lease deal than the Tesla Model Y. But that Tesla Model Y, I didn't factor in my referral credit. So if you want a referral credit of up to $1,000 on your next Tesla, it doesn't matter. It could be a Model 3, Model Y, X, or a S. Or even a Cybertruck, you can use my referral link, below, or you can go to the link in my bio. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions about this Polestar 3 lease deal, let me know in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, please be sure to check out DriveMatch.com. It's a company that I co-founded where you can get pre-negotiated lease deals. It ends up saving you time, money, and it gives you peace of mind. DriveMatch.com. So if you have any other questions, please let me know. But with that, I'm going to call it a video. Thank you all for watching. Financial knowledge is power. Please like and follow for more.